Hello, I'm Dylan.
I'm Keon.
And this is Triple Play, that podcast where we introduce like 15 characters in 2 minutes, because this month we watched Night of the Sentinels.
Written by Mark Edward Edens.
I guess aired in October and November of 1992.
Yep. So Night of the Sentinels is the first 2 episodes, because it's 2 parts, of the X-Men the Animated Series, which is the X-Men Animated Series.
Well, that's confusing.
It's the animated series of X-Men the Animated Series.
/word avalanches.
So this is the one that actually got made. You know, last time we did an X-Men thing, we, watched...
Pride of the X-Men.
Yeah, watched Days of Future Past /
Lost
First Class.
Yeah.
But before that, we watched Pride of the X-Men, which was a pilot of an X-Men animated series that never got made because instead they made X-Men the Animated Series. The actual X-Men Animated Series.
Yes! I followed that. And, turns out Pride of the X-Men was way better.
At least in my opinion.
Yeah, okay, yeah. My opinion too, I guess.
Well, the animation was a lot better. Also, in my opinion, I guess, because I guess you could like this art style / animation better, which our art style isn't animation, it's something different, but...
Yes.
Yeah. Maybe we should just jump right in.
Yeah, so it starts by introducing Jubilee.
I didn't know who Jubilee was. I didn't know what her powers were. Apparently it has something to do with electricity. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like it was a stunningly poor decision to make her the main character of these episodes.
She sort of peters off as the main character, like, in the middle of episode 2, where it starts to focus on the relationship between, like, Wolverine
and Cyclops, apparently.
Which was something more familiar to me, because, like, the only X-Men thing I ever watched was the 6 movies that we watched, and Pride of the X-Men, so...
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Jubilee's just not an interesting character.
No, she's really not. I was also going to say that, also kind of like some of the X-Men movies, Jean Grey does almost nothing.
It's true.
Which isn't necessarily true of the movies, but yeah, it's true here. So yeah, Jubilee isn't really that interesting of a character. It starts off with her parents finding out that she's a mutant, because they're watching this mutant on the news destroy things, and they're like, what monsters? I can't believe the daughter we adopted 1 year ago is actually a mutant. And apparently Jubilee's actual name is Jubilee. That's what she goes by. It's short for Jubilation Lee.
She even complains about this later when she meets Cyclops. She's like, at least your name is cool. I'm Jubilee. And they're like, you could choose your own name.
You can choose your superhero name.
And you chose Jubilee.
What does Jubilee have to do with, like, electricity and electronics?
I feel like her actual power is just
breaking things.
I think she's the X-Men who her original power was she could just make sparkling lights.
Oh, yeah.
And then later on...
No, that's Dazzle or something.
Oh, I think that might be Dazzle. Okay, you know what? We will Google it and find out. Jubilee.
In case you can't tell, we're extremely familiar with the X-Men universe.
Extremely. She's a mutant with a superhuman power to generate pyrotechnic energy plasmoids from her hands.
How did they think this up, really? No, it's definitely like Dazzle or something like that. Wait.
She has powers of a vampire.
Apparently
now.
She has vampire powers now, and formerly has this power to generate pyrotechnic energy plasmoids.
And to explosively charge objects and evade the detection of telepaths.
But wait, Professor X detects her in this. I guess that's why it's formerly. Well, I guess it means it was before 1992? I don't know.
So basically what we're learning is that this animated cartoon did the same thing the movies did, which was poorly define everyone's powers so that they can use them in whatever way they want.
Yeah, convenient. Well, Wolverines are pretty clearly defined. It's those Wolverine claws that you can...
And he can heal super fast.
Yeah, he can heal.
Until he gets old, apparently. We'll watch Logan.
Someone described Logan to me as a combination of X-Men and The Road. And I was like, is that really true?
I guess. I actually saw Logan a couple days ago. And
have you seen / read The Road?
No. Is that the one where everybody has to run and then if you stop running, you die?
That's the Cormac McCarthy book / movie about the dude and the kid going through a post-apocalyptic America. Yeah. Anyway, we'll watch Logan at some point. Hopefully not soon.
When Deadpool 2 comes out.
Jesus.
So,
I kind of want to take a break from superheroes, honestly. Which we're doing, because next thing we're watching, I guess, sort of has superheroes in a weird way, maybe, if you stretch your imagination.
not really.
No, not really.
So
Pirates are my heroes, though.
You live your life by the pirate creed. So now we meet all the other X-Men, like Cyclops, Wolverine, Morph, Gambit. Actually, we just meet Gambit first.
Not yet, because Jubilee runs away from home.
To the mall.
To the mall.
And that's where we meet Gambit.
Yeah, Gambit is... he's buying a lottery ticket.
He's buying cards.
Oh.
He throws cards.
And chatting up the lady who works there. And I didn't get that Gambit was Cajun until Wolverine called him Gumbo, which is like the worst way to find out. But yeah, the accents in this were questionable. It seemed like they kind of went in and out of their accents, especially Wolverine, Gambit, and Storm. Well, Wolverine has a Canadian accent, so it sounds almost completely American to my ears, at least. So,
yeah.
Because it's almost the same accent.
Yeah, apparently Gambit's a super popular X-Men character, though I don't know why.
I don't think he really did jack in this at all.
He threw some cards, powered up some cards and threw them. Don't know what his powers are either, probably also ill-defined.
I'm guessing he has the ability to count cards really well, which isn't necessarily a superpower. I guess we're looking it up now. Dang, the art on the Jubilee Wikipedia page is so much better than the art from this. Gambit. So is the Gambit one. His design is also completely different on this article.
Kinetic conversion and acceleration.
Jeez.
He used to have foresight via tarot cards.
Tarot. Skilled card thrower. That's not really his... Okay, martial artist, acrobat, and skilled card thrower aren't superpowers. They're just skills that you can hone.
Well, that's why Wikipedia classifies them as abilities.
Okay.
So
some robots,
shows up.
Yeah. Sentinels were giant robots.
They were in Days of Future Past.
Were they?
Yeah, in the future timeline. They were the ones who wiped out all the mutants.
Yep. Didn't really look the same here. But you can't really have an early 90s cartoon / 80s cartoon without giant robots. Yeah, I've actually been thinking about Thundercats recently, and I've been thinking about going back and rewatching it, even though I hate both Thundercats series.
Why would you torture yourself with it then?
I was just like, oh man, the animation on Thundercats was so much better than this.
And that's why you want to rewatch it.
Maybe. But, I mean, it's not necessarily related at all. It's just that I can't watch any, like, early 90s / 80s cartoons without thinking of Thundercats. I don't hate Thundercats. I just like it while I'm watching it, and then when I'm not watching it, I'm like, yeah, I guess I do like Thundercats after all. I have a weird relationship with Thundercats.
You have a love-hate relationship with Thundercats?
The new series.
We should make a Thundercats podcast.
We should, actually. I would absolutely do a Thundercats podcast.
Oh boy. So
it's like 200 episodes.
Joy. Be here for another 3 years. So Gambit tries to distract the Sentinel and
dies. No.
No, but Morph does.
Yeah,
later.
Morph does later. We're also introduced to Storm and what's her face? Rogue, yeah. I just like how Morph shows up, and at first I thought it was Mystique because he's transforming to all these people on the TV, and then later they're like, it's Morph, and I'm like, why? From Treasure Planet. Okay, no.
Like, why didn't you just use Mystique?
Yeah, why didn't they just... Well, I guess because Mystique is usually associated with Magneto.
I guess, Morph is a new character for the TV show.
Oh,
He's
really?
not even in the comics. They just made him up for the TV show.
They just needed someone they could kill off, so they decided to create Morph.
Apparently he comes back in season 2 as a villain. He gets resurrected.
Yeah, honestly, later when Wolverine is like, I can't believe I let this happen, I honestly thought, okay, they're going to bring back Morph and Beast later on as villains, but Beast obviously not, so.
The Wikipedia page for Morph throws really heavy shade at Cyclops because Cyclops is all, I don't know if I should have left him to, this is getting ahead of ourselves, I guess, but
Yeah.
I don't know if we should have left him to die. And then the Wikipedia page is like, Cyclops feels remorse correctly for leaving them behind. I was like, what? Isn't Wikipedia supposed to have a neutral tone?
Oh my god. Supposed to, yes.
So I thought that was funny.
Anyway, Jubilee is caught up into the conflict between some of the X-Men and the Sentinels. Sentinels are pretty weak,
Yeah.
actually, for being portrayed as this major threat by the news media.
Yeah, most of the serial isn't even them fighting the Sentinels. It's just them running from place to place. They do this freaking Scooby-Doo thing.
Anyway, Jubilee eventually heads over to Xavier's mansion.
To the X-Mansion.
We see Xavier. His eyebrows look really weird. I don't know if you noticed, but they did.
No, I just noticed Jean Grey's weird costume.
They do a really piss poor job of introducing Xavier and what this school actually is as compared to Pride of the X-Men. I was going to say the movies, but that's not really a fair comparison because it's a 40-minute TV episode / 2 TV episodes.
Versus a 2-hour movie.
Yeah. But I mean, compared to Pride of the X-Men, they really do a bad job of it, so.
Yeah. So they're like, yeah, we got to go fight some Sentinels.
Yeah. I think I'd go as far to say, that if I wasn't familiar with both Pride of the X-Men and the movies, I would have absolutely no idea what Xavier's school is / who Xavier is.
You're probably correct in that aspect. I feel like you wouldn't know what's going on.
Then again, it's a Saturday morning cartoon aimed at like 5 to 10-year-olds, so are they really going to care? Probably not. Well, maybe some of the older kids who are watching this would.
Yeah, I feel like some of the older kids would be like, why is Jubilee going to this weird school of people who seem to kill a lot of people? I don't know if you noticed, but a lot of those guards are 100% dead. Like that one behind the door that they blow up. Yeah, he's dead.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird.
Well, strangely, later they make a point of showing Storm stopping that guy from falling off that water tower when they cut it down. Not Storm.
Huh, I don't remember that, actually.
Yeah, it's a
Rogue?
scene. It might have been Rogue. Well, where Cyclops cuts down the water tower and there's this guy on it, this guard, and he's falling and they catch him and then put him down.
I don't remember that at all, actually. But I think nobody dies in the pilot of Pride of the X-Men. Pretty sure nobody
I don't remember.
dies. I don't remember either.
Everybody dies. Because it didn't get made.
Well, we thought that Cyclops died.
Oh, yeah.
But then Nightcrawler saved him. That was a big
we
minus.
thought Nightcrawler died too, but then Nightcrawler survived too.
Was it that night? I don't remember. Honestly, it was like a year ago.
He beamed out into space, and they're like, he's gonna die, and then he beams away, and they're like, he's dead, and then they open a locker in the spaceship.
Oh,
like,
yeah, that's what it was. Nightcrawler isn't in this, which is kind of a big minus for me. But I guess a plus is that he can't be pedoing around.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about his weird...
His weird portrayal.
Yeah. Especially since Jubilee is like definitely just a teenager, potentially younger.
Yep.
So she gets captured by the Sentinels, and the X-Men go find out where the Sentinels are. They go fight these guys, and episode 1 ends like that.
They're at them. Yeah, they show up at the Mutant Control Agency, which
A
apparently
government facility.
Yeah. So this is sort of the antagonistic entity of these first 2 episodes. I know Magneto shows up in episode 3. Which might have been a mistake. I know they wanted to set up the characters first, probably.
Yeah.
But it might have been a mistake not to introduce Magneto in the first episode. I don't know.
I feel like Magneto's just as much of a main character as everyone else, so not including him in the opening episode. Then again, it's kind of like if you're making a Sherlock Holmes series, do you really want to drop Moriarty in your first episode?
Yeah, I don't know. I did like how in Pride of the X-Men, it immediately it does a good job really setting up who the characters are. Kind of maybe not like in an organic way because it's just Xavier explaining who all these characters are, explaining what his school is, and then Magneto showing up being like, "Haha, I'm the villain." But it encapsulates and tells you what the show's going to be about more so than this does.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like they're trying to make this show just, I guess, less heavy, I guess, because Pride of the X-Men definitely dealt with a lot of those Magneto versus Xavier themes that the movies touched on a lot, whereas this one's just kind of hitting on the government doesn't like mutants, and then they like completely go back on that at the end of the serial. It's kind of a serial because it's 2 episodes, but
yeah.
So it's kind of like they're just setting up people to be one-off weekly enemies instead of an overarching thing.
Well, they do introduce Magneto in episode 3.
Yeah.
So. Then again, we're also trying to judge a cartoon that's aimed to keep the attention of, like, again, 5 to 10-year-olds. So,
yeah, but we
judged that's why
Doctor
everything
Who,
happens.
Which was also designed to keep attention of kids, so at least in the beginning.
Yeah, but Doctor Who isn't like this. It's not like, all right, one thing after the other, dialogue super fast, everything's happening all at once, like this was, like Part of the X-Men was, like a lot of Saturday morning cartoons from that era were, which I guess Saturday morning cartoons don't exist anymore because of how people consume crap now. So, yeah.
So episode 2, Wolverine apparently can smell the gun oil.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
He has superhuman Wolverine-like ability to smell.
Ew.
Yeah.
So they blow open
Sucks
the
to be
door.
him.
They incapacitate some guards. Then Morph kind of just strolls in and sends all the guards into another room, and that's it.
Yeah,
They're done.
They have to not scale, but they have to get over this fence, and it looked incredibly. I mean, unless it was electrified, it looked incredibly easy to climb.
It was electrified because Beast gets knocked into it.
Oh yeah, that's later.
That's actually like right now because they're escaping, and that Sentinel kills Morph.
Yeah, Morph dies.
And Wolverine is really torn up about this. Apparently, Morph was Wolverine's best friend.
Yeah, he and Cyclops sort of have like an opportunity to save Morph, and they're not really successful. And Wolverine blames Cyclops and himself.
Correctly, according to Wikipedia.
He blamed himself too, and he steals Cyclops' car, goes and drives off, and there's like a really confusing flashback scene, which is like part of the earlier scene, and they add like a little bit more to it that they didn't show before.
Oh yeah, so what happens is they're there, and Morph is like, oh no, and then it cuts to Jean Grey, and she's like, ah, and Xavier's like, what? And she's like, don't you feel it? Someone's died. I don't feel Morph anymore. And Xavier's like, what? So he puts the helmet on, and he's like, and then the X-Men come home, and then Wolverine's like, I couldn't save him, and then we cut back to actually see Morph die.
Yeah. It's kind of confusing there.
Yeah, and Beast gets captured, I guess, or knocked out, or... Because they're like, oh, Beast's still alive, but Morph died.
Yep.
Can't have those new characters for the TV show surviving past the second episode.
No, you really can't. And then, Wolverine and Cyclops sort of argue a little. Then Wolverine goes off.
Jean's like, oh man, you guys. Kind of like in the movie how Jean Grey
is sort of supposed to be like a mediator, except
Yeah.
not really, because she doesn't act as a mediator at all.
Yep. And then ends up killing Cyclops.
Yeah.
And then they go... So the government's like, yeah, so the Sentinels shut them down. And then the evil villains like interrogating Jubilee. She's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Jubilee gets captured.
And then she escapes when... the resolution of this was so dumb because Cyclops cuts off a Sentinel's arm and the Sentinel flies back to the home base and in doing so crashes into the generator, which disables the entire factory.
Yeah, they go back. What I also thought was kind of dumb was that they go back to the facility. I guess they make a tactical retreat. Wolverine goes off and then they go back to the facility.
Withdrawal.
Yeah.
And then Wolverine shows up and it's like a big happy moment and they're like, Wolverine's back! His best character!
I wonder what this will do to the ratings.
TV executive, bring Wolverine back. Look at the back of the room, bring him back.
Just F already. Okay, no.
Kill Jubilee. Worthless character.
Oh god. Cancel the show. This sucks.
We're pulling funding.
Oh god, I'm having way more fun doing this than I probably should be.
So Wolverine just stabs up some Sentinels and he's like, this is for Morph. And you're like, wow, was Morph really that important to you?
This one's for Morph. This one's because I'm a murderous psychopath.
This one's because I want to take something out on Cyclops, but I can't kill him. This one's for the low ratings.
It's the first episode. If it really had low ratings in these 2 episodes, I don't think it would have gotten like 5 seasons.
Well, and that's...
Then it ends.
Yeah.
Jubilee is saved. She decides to leave her foster parents, who are apparently the best foster parents she's ever had, which is pretty sad because they discuss how she's a mutant and isn't worth their parentage, I guess.
Well, I
how
mean,
she's a freak who needs to be sent away.
Jubilee's kind of a jerk as well, because she's at that arcade and she accidentally blows up the machine and the guy's like, hey, do you know how much that machine was worth? And she's like, yeah, a quarter, and she leaves and the guy's like,
she puts on her shades and just slowly walks away.
The guy's like, wow, I should just kill you right now.
Except I can't because you're a mutant and I'm not, ha ha ha.
He has that total face of, damn it, if I could, I would.
Yeah, it's also kind of sad, I guess, how Jubilee is being ostracized and how the other mutants are being ostracized.
Yeah, but the serial, whatever, deals with it in a really clunky way once, again, multiple other things we've seen.
Yeah. Anyway, Jubilee goes off to Professor X's school, which, if you didn't know what that was
you still
earlier,
don't.
you still don't. So, yeah. And then it ends. Did you notice how in the credits, there were those like really bad CG models? And okay, so they had these models of the characters, right? And then they had a little description of the character, but the description went by so fast that I could barely read it. Is an 8-year-old kid watching this going to be able to read it in that amount of time? No.
Probably not. Yeah, there are a lot of questionable things this thing did.
Yeah, this was the one that got made. Dang it.
Yeah, because apparently...
It didn't have that dragon thing, honestly. That was... Maybe he shows up with Magneto in episode 3, I don't know.
Probably not.
Probably not, but...
Show's not cool enough to have Magneto's dragon sidekick.
/ turncoat. Frickin' dragon.
I mean, Mystique's also kind of a turncoat, according to the movies.
In the movies, yeah.
Honestly, I don't know which one to believe anymore.
They're all valid. Whichever
They're
one you
all
want.
canon. They all happened in the same timeline.
Honestly, who cares about canon? Just watch each thing individually and enjoy it for what it's
about
worth.
Cannons.
So, and I guess animation-wise, this is actually probably worse. I'm not remembering part of the X-Men as much as I should be.
This was probably worse.
Yeah. I think it's in the intro sequence, actually. I don't think it's in the episodes at all. But obviously it's taken from some episode down the line. There's a scene with Jubilee running towards a fence, like a chain link fence. And they're like... She's just running. It looks pretty normal. The animation isn't great. And, like, all of a sudden, it just cuts to her. There's, like, no frames in between her being, like, 5 feet away from the fence and her holding the fence with her, you know, with her fingers between the links, the chain links. So if you want to, it's just in the intro. You can go back and it's pretty noticeable, in my opinion.
Well, clearly, if you just cut a couple frames out of the middle, no one will notice, right? And it'll look like she's running quicker. That's how that works. I mean, the animation was pretty poor, and when they first showed this, before it officially aired on Fox, they showed it early to someone. It had apparently a substantial amount of animation errors because they hadn't finished it yet. And it's still got 5 seasons, or something like that. At least 3.
Yeah, I don't know if it's 3 or 5. It's probably one of those. Maybe 4.
I know it's at least 3.
Okay. But that was actually weird to me because I did remember that Pride of the X-Men was made by Toei, the Japanese company known for making such poorly animated shows as Dragon Ball Z and Transformers. So it's kind of surprising to me that they did a good job there and not with this.
Maybe it was just the budget
I think it's maybe
they
Marvel.
had for
I don't
it.
know. Marvel shelling out more for what would have been Pride of the X-Men and less for this.
Yeah, I think Marvel realized that...
they didn't really need to put a huge budget into a show aimed at, again, at 5 to 10-year-olds.
Well, I guess because Pride of the X-Men showed them that people didn't like it because I guess at the time the common conception was the story was pretty bad, but the animation was good, so it didn't get high ratings. And I guess Marvel realized, well, let's just put the money into the story department then instead of the animation department, and then just put it on air.
That's interesting. Obviously, I haven't watched anything beyond these first 2 episodes, but I would disagree. I think Pride of the X-Men is a stronger first episode in terms of like the plot and characters and how they're introduced and stuff.
Yeah, I would agree. And I think we talked about that, how this doesn't tell you at all what Professor Xavier does. I mean, for all we know, he could be just some crazy old senile dude.
And, maybe they'll explain it more when Magneto shows up. That would make sense. But yeah, I don't know.
But pretty clearly, the main villain escapes, so they're obviously setting him up for a return later on, I guess.
I don't know how long this season is. I'm guessing 20-something episodes, maybe.
Yeah, typical American season is about 20 episodes. 20 to 24. At least for a syndicated television show.
I'm trying to think of other like 80s/early 90s animated shows. I know like the first season of Transformers was like 50. Thundercats season 1 is like 80.
Perfect.
No, Thundercats season 1 is more. It's like 100. And then all the other seasons are like 20 each.
Well, because a lot of them...
a lot of them didn't have seasons. They just aired until they ran out of money. Not until they ran out of money, but until something was decided, I guess. And then they might go off air for a while and bring them back with actual seasons. I think that's what they did for Thundercats.
Yeah, so a lot of these cartoons just aired every week until...
until something or
until
the other
they ran
happened.
out of money, until something gave. Yeah, well, I think we're finally done with X-Men for a while.
For a while.
Till Deadpool 2. We're going to watch that Wolverine trilogy, maybe.
And in case you couldn't tell, we were sort of grasping as to what to do for this, so we just decided on sort of an easy way out, which is watching these first 2 episodes. And I don't know, I feel like I might continue watching this series.
I might, but I don't have any strong desire to.
No, I might watch a couple more episodes, to be honest.
See how it pans out. If you do, let me know.
All right.
Let everybody know. Triple Play update. How did the animated series proceed? Okay, I'm over X-Men. Email us at thedoctor@decorativevegetables.com. Questions, comments, concerns, anger, rants, love letters, your thoughts on X-Men. You can find us on iTunes, Google Play, and YouTube, all at Triple Play. Leave a rating if you like the show.
Check us on Facebook, Triple Play. Like us on Facebook. Also check us out on Twitter at 3P Podcast and follow us on Twitter. And next time we're watching Pirates of the Caribbean, the first 3. So until then,
I'm excited.
The end.